My name is Wyatt Hambley, and this is my presentation on the Home Depot. The Home Depot started in 1979 by Arthur Blank and Marcus Burney, both of which worked for a company called the Handyman Home Improvement Store. They saw a lot of potential in the market, did not like the way that company was going, so they ended up leaving and started their own business in Atlanta, Georgia, opening 2 stores. Now they have grown to over 2,300 stores across 3 countries. Each of those stores contains over 36,000 products in each store, and the Home Depot in total has the highest market share for the home improvement industry at 51%. The mission for them is to provide the highest level of service, the broadest selection of products, and the most competitive prices. Solid mission. Their vision statement, however, is not very clear. It is included with their diversity, equity, and inclusion to make all that one into a statement. The vision, I would like to see something created, something along the lines of their slogan of where doers get more done, or everyday low prices guaranteed. Something to talk about what their vision for the future is. In the business model, they have broad differentiation and cost leadership. Their broad differentiation means that they are offering different products, more different products than what their competitors are. In such a saturated market with Lowe's and Menards and all the True Values and Ace Hardwares, a lot of the companies are carrying the same products. So the Home Depot starts carrying products that are different than their competitors. They also have a broad selection of quality hand and power tools, something that Lowe's per se doesn't have. And then looking at the cost leadership, as they say, everyday low price is guaranteed. So they have the option of, if you bring in a price that one of the competitors is offering for a product, the Home Depot will lower their price for that product. Their competitive strategy has been consistency since the beginning. They're keeping their goals consistent to improve their communities, to have happy employees, as well as improve their market share. So then also with prices, they're looking at competitiveness in their prices. So keeping the prices low, keeping them competitive with all of their competition. In terms of their helpful associates, which is part of their consistency, the founders wanted people that were able to help any customer that came in, not just find products in the store, but be able to help with whatever projects the customer is working on. So the Home Depot spends millions of dollars each year training their employees in certain areas like plumbing, in construction, in paint, certain areas like that, to help the customer get questions answered to give them the best products possible. Their ethics are very good. The Home Depot has been a very ethical company, especially for their environment and society governance report. As they say, focus on our people, operating sustainability, and strengthening our communities. They also require their suppliers to follow responsible sourcing supplier manual. So that requires that the Home Depot is going to check out their suppliers upon the beginning of their agreements, as well as throughout their agreements as suppliers, to make sure that they're following things like child labor laws, not overworking their employees, and continuing to have responsible suppliers. Their code of conduct and ethics, however, does need to be improved a little bit. When looking into that, something that I noticed was that the ethics section of it is vague. The Home Depot has had some cases of managers that did not treat some employees very well, and part of that was because the code of ethics is not very clear. Something like an employee wearing something on their apron. All the Home Depot employees wear aprons, and they had a slogan on there that the employee thought was reasonable, but the manager said no, they couldn't do it, and then they got into an argument about that, ended up going to court over it. So that the code of conduct and ethics for the employees needs to be improved. Looking at the 5 forces analysis, the threat of substitution is weak. The products that are needed that are sold at the Home Depot are found in store at the Home Depot, at Lowe's. Sometimes even Walmart has some products, or other close stores, or online, but online takes time to get in. So the threat of substitution is very weak. Some people just need those products. The supplier bargaining, however, is strong. The suppliers have the option of getting their products to the Home Depot, to their stores, and have the power to negotiate what prices they need and how that is going to work. The buyer bargaining power is also strong. With so many competitors in the area, in that competition, that is something that buyers have. If they are going from store to store and see that one store has a deal on a refrigerator that month, then they're likely going to go switch from store to store based on where the best deal is. The threat of new entrants is moderate. At the level of the Home Depot, it is weak, but in the home improvement stores in general, some home hardware stores are popping up throughout the country. Some of those stores are not big by any means. They're small, but they are still coming up, so that way it is moderate. It's not strong, it's not weak, just moderate. The competitive rivalry, however, is strong. When looking at how closely related Lowe's and the Home Depot are, they really do have that rivalry together, along with some other companies in the area. Looking at the strategic group map, the Home Depot had a net income of $15.3 billion in 2023. Next closest to that was Menards, and they were just at $10 billion. Lowe's was followed up with that at just over $7.5 billion. Then there's True Value that didn't quite hit $2 billion, and Ace Hardware, which was at $323 million. So the Home Depot sets themselves apart in terms of their market share. The external factor evaluations look at the opportunities and the threats from outside factors. So some things like opening up more distribution centers across the country are definitely an opportunity that is open to the Home Depot, in which they have work to do so. Expansion into retail, food, and the apparel market makes the Home Depot not just for hardware and lumber and home improvement, but also then can sell clothing, can sell food if you're hungry, similar to Costco, as well as some minimal apparel. As well as continue to grow into the community involvement side of things. Some threats, however, like stiff competition amongst hardware and home improvement, is there. So possibility of strikes, some of the sole reliance on the North American market is something that the Home Depot does, and supply chain disruptions cause some issues. Now, as I said, the Home Depot has opened up some distribution centers across the country to battle those supply chain disruptions and economic slowdowns. However, some things will need to be prepared for. Looking at the internal factors evaluation, they have a very strong market position. The Home Depot is set way at the top, over 15% higher than their closest competitor. They also have customer loyalty, as well as an easy online shopping option with innovation and technological advancements. In terms of weaknesses, they have a limited global footprint. They are only in North America, a few stores in Canada, a few stores in Mexico, and the majority of their stores in the United States. Also, they have higher prices compared to compared to Lowe's, as well as some other options, but they have high quality products. Additionally, there is an aging infrastructure with the way that the Home Depot works, and a heavy reliance on the housing market. Looking at competitive profile matrix, overall, some of these ideas with the critical success factors, like serving industry professionals rather than the do-it-yourself customer, is where the Home Depot really pushes forth compared to Lowe's. Additionally, when COVID hit, many businesses were having to close their stores. The Home Depot did a really good job at keeping stores in business and open. They also have minimal foot traffic, and will probably need to increase that, as well as maintaining their good employee satisfaction. Boston Consulting Group Matrix looks at the top products that were sold in their stores. Looking at the industry across, the Home Depot clearly leads in each of the divisions here that are listed, appliances being at the top and plumbing being at the bottom, everywhere in between there. Financials are also very good for the Home Depot. They are very financially sound. Their days of inventory just over 3 months. Their total debt to assets at under 1, and their earnings per share sitting at $15.11. Their operating profit margin at 14.21 is a decrease from previous years, which is good to see, as well as their current ratio is at 1.35 to 1, sitting nice. Looking at strategy, review, and evaluation, they are a very successful company, something I have learned. They have successful revenue streams. Their business model with product differentiation and cross leadership have gotten them very far in the industry, as well as their market share being 15% higher than Menards at over $5 billion in income higher. Their short and long-term goals are to decrease some carbon emissions, create happy, healthy workplace for employees, and also work to sell products that are safe for home. So minimizing chemicals that are in products like flooring, carpet, paint, things like that, as well as improving the environment as a whole. One thing I would like to see change, they have over $40 billion in debt, and that should come down to about $20 billion. I understand as a big business, it's important to have debt, though that could come down significantly.